So now we move on to UFC on ESPN 3 with DaveBets. I haven't spoken to DaveBets in ages, actually, it feels like. Hello, Dave. There he is. A long time no speak, it feels like. I feel like we haven't done a video for ages.
Yeah, it's been a 2-week break.
I know, but we're back. We've got a really good card. This one's some really great fights. Obviously, I'm going to struggle a little bit with the names. Apologies on that. I have done my homework, but I just haven't got the names. So we've just published.
I bet you're struggling with the main event, right? Francis Ngannou. Is that what you struggle with?
I actually just wrote Francis on that one, just to make it easier. That's right. I'll call him Francis, and then we've got Junior Dos Santos. I can do that one.
Yeah.
No, there's Anthony Martin, easy. Damien Maya.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Spot on.
Thank you. And then the other one, actually, the middle one, the co-main. Josiah Formiga. Joseph Benavides. Oh, well, I can do that one too, because that one's like Spanishy, and obviously.
And Josiah Formiga.
Yeah, Josiah. That's an interesting name, Josiah. Quite like that name.
Depends what part of the world you're from. Different people pronounce it differently. Do you know what I mean? American and English some names are just pronounced totally different, so it's all dependent.
Yeah.
Say what you want.
So let us start off with the main event. So Francis versus Junior Dos Santos. Now, Jason Paglia from the Sports Cake has done a big write-up on this one. I had a brief look. I just wanted to see where he was leaning on this one. He is liking Junior Dos Santos, and that is a massive price.
Wow. That's surprising news to me, because I spoke to him yesterday, and he was liking the fight from two angles.
Yes.
So he believes that if Francis is going to win, it's going to be early. So he was thinking about taking the round one prop, I think, which is plus 180, I think. 2.80 around them prices.
5.5 and then 5.0 fight ends in one round, 4-1, 5.0.
Huh? Really?
That's what I'm reading. And then his second pick is Junior Dos Santos at 2-1, odds of 3, 1 unit.
Oh, so he did make both the plays on his write-up.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Okay, yeah. So he did go with that. Yeah, it was. I did say to him it was a great take. Other than Francis Ngannou does have 2 knockouts in round 2, so it's not like he can lose it all in round 1. Plus, I'm pretty sure that they highlight what the fighters need to do, and Francis' cardio is clearly needed work for a long time. So, you know, there's a good chance he can come into this fight with a bit extra gas in the tank, in preparation for somebody like Junior Dos Santos. But I do agree with Jay. If Francis is going to win this fight, he's going to win it by knockout, and it's going to be early. So, yeah, it's definitely a fight that everybody wants to see, because this guy Francis Ngannou is the hardest. He's got the hardest punch that the UFC has ever seen. I think the equivalent was a car doing 40 miles per hour. Is the same as taking a punch from him. So, yeah, good luck to Junior Dos Santos. But his face is not going to look pretty at the end of that fight. That's all I can say.
Looking at the little picture here, I would say he's had a few knocks on that face as well. But
he has.
Yeah. Oh goodness me. But okay. DaveBets does a dogs and their odds. It is a weekly article, obviously, when UFC is up on. And did Junior Dos Santos make the dogs and the odds?
Nope.
No. So that
See, do you know what? I'd never probably use a main or co-main event in dogs and their odds, just because that's what Jay's covering in his articles. So for me to cover the main and co-main it's kind of pointless. Try and mix it up. Most of the time, I'm going for the early card fights, so the preliminary fights.
Yeah.
And I leave because Jay's done really well at on the main event articles. He's cashed quite a lot of them. So for me to try and come in and steal that light wouldn't be fair on him anyway.
Oh, you could always,
And I don't think I could steal that light either, because Jay's he's doing really well in their main event predictions. So I don't want to tread on his toes at all. I definitely don't want to go head to head with him again, because last time that bit me in the butt. So.
What you are though going welterweight though? You're going for Anthony Martin at 2.62 in Dogs Junior odds.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a stab with Martin, just based. A lot of my capping here was based on just youth, and I believe that timing is everything, and I feel like Anthony Martin has been with the UFC for a long time now. He went on a rough streak, and he was actually 1-3, so he'd only had one win with 3 losses, and he moved up weight class. And since moving up the weight class, it's like his game has totally changed, especially his striking, and the movement on his feet is just improving from every fight that he goes through, and he's now on a 4-0 streak. The only problem is he does come up against one of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners that the UFC has on their roster. Damian Maia has, I think, 13 victories by submission. He's a 4th Dan black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, and possibly the best grappler in that division. Other than the people that have defeated him, who are wrestlers, Damian Maia is probably the best grappler in that division. So it is a tough one for Martin. But like I said, I think the streak is on, the time in his career. He's not a new face. There's a 12-year age gap between the two. So yeah, I think the youth and the movement, the footwork of Martin can get the job done in this one.
All right, yeah, and good odds on that one, 2.62. And sorry, Joe, going back to the main event here. So you did say that so you don't think that Junior Dos Santos is going to win. Well, it certainly didn't make your dogs in the odds.
Yeah, it didn't make the dogs in the odds. I wouldn't say I don't think he's going to win, because Junior Dos Santos is probably the best boxer in the heavyweight division. His boxing skills are good. It's just that he does take damage. I think he absorbs 3.05 strikes per minute, and Francis gives out around 2.0 per minute, and all it takes is one of them from Francis to land, and it's over. In Francis' previous fight, he didn't even connect with a fully swing punch, and it was lights out. There's no stopping the power behind that punch. People don't realize until they watch Francis Ngannou fight that nobody is going to survive that sort of power from that punch. Nobody. He's had a few of his fights have been a bit of a letdown, but it was only due to the wrestling game. Junior could wrestle him, and that would probably be the best strategy for his team to be working on, is working on taking Francis down, because last time we saw Francis get taken down was against Stipe, and he was a fish on his back. He couldn't do anything. But through Junior's many fights in the UFC, I've never saw him implement any type of wrestling strategy, because he is a boxer. So I think he'll test his boxing, think he can hang with Francis, and probably get knocked out in round 1 or 2. So if I was going to bet this fight, which I'm not, I would be looking at the props for round 1 and 2 finishes by Ngannou. You get some great prices, especially on round 2, I think. You get some high odds on that. Okay. In regards to picking Francis straight up, there's no interest there at 1.42. Junior, he does have a great chance to win this fight if he can survive the early onslaught. Whether that's going to happen or not, I cannot tell. I cannot handicap this fight and give a pick where I'm going to be confident in putting my money down on it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Absolutely. What about the co-main events? Formiga versus Benavides.
Yeah, Jussier Formiga versus Joseph Benavides. It's actually a rematch. Now, this is a rematch from, it's been quite a few years now, once again, how I talk about timing and how fighters, it's the right place, right time for certain fighters. I think that Jussier has a great chance of winning this and could quite possibly take the decision victory here against Joseph. Just timing. He's on a 4-fight win streak. He's finished 2 of them, I think, by submission, and he's won 2 decisions. Since he last fought Joseph Benavidez, I think he has 9 wins and 2 losses. So he's got 9-2, whereas Joey B has seemed to go on a little bit of a decline. When fighters get knocked off that championship contender spot, they sometimes have a lack of anything to work towards. Don't get me wrong, he's won his 2 previous fights, but yeah, I do like Jussier this time round to have improved on everything, striking, grappling, and yeah. Decision victory for Jussier is what I'm looking at right now.
Really? So again, you'll go, but then that's that. You're going then with the dog in that one, 2.5.
With the underdog, it is with the underdog, but
yeah,
it's not. It's also not in the dogs and that odds right up.
So we're getting some bonus content right here.
Yeah, it hasn't been published yet, so
it should have
just
been.
go check out.
Let me see if I did actually, because I saw it in my inbox this morning, and I was like, guys, get on this. I've got him coming on the show. I'd like the article up, please. So,
I was up all night watching the tape on this, replaying Anthony Martin and Damian Maia fights, and yeah.
Here we go.
Just I'm gonna just go and check out the article.
I'm gonna put the link.
It'll be up.
Put the link in the description.
Is it up now?
Yeah, it's there. It is up. It is up. Yeah, I saw it about an hour ago. And I said, guys, we're going to get it up. And Jason's as well. Yeah. So that's when, that's what
Speaking of which, we cashed last week's as well. Ashley Yoda by decision was 2.45. She cashed. And what was the other one? Dan Ige. I think he was about 2.30, something like that. We cashed. So both the dogs in that odds article write-ups from last week cashed.
Sweet.
So hopefully I can do the same again this week.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Which brings me to Punching Parlay. Punching Parlay. How is the Punching Parlay doing? I know we had a bit of a dip. We had a great first season of Punching Parlay. How are we doing this season? No.
Dead in the water.
All right, come on.
I tell you what, we're not in a position to fade me because certain legs are still winning in the parlay, and I think this season the majority of the losses have only came by 1. So I'll be back. I haven't actually finished this week's Punching Parlay. I'm going back to the drawing board, and I'm going to try and take a different angle this week, just because I feel like maybe I'm feeling too confident and taking 1 too many. So maybe bring it back down to 2 legs and see how I can go from there. Although saying that, even though the record is 1-4, it's still only -3 units, so it's not too heavy. If you compare it from season 1, and if you followed the entire season 1, you'd still be 7 units in profit. So it's not all that bad.
Yeah.
When you break it down.
Yeah, but sometimes you do need to go back to the drawing board as well. I'm always kind of like tweaking and, just trying new tactics and things like that. So, all right.
There's no blueprint for this job. There's no perfect way to do it. You just have to find your own way.
Yeah, that's right. And that hopefully will be published tomorrow over at oddsmarket.com. But before we bring this show to a close, obviously, Saturday, June 29th, what are your favourite takes for the UFC night? What are some of your favourite plays?
Ooh, we're talking. Are we talking this weekend or next weekend?
This weekend.
This weekend. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I love Morris Green. He's fighting a guy that it's just seemed to have been bullied in his previous 3 fights, coming off some pretty bad TKOs. Morris Green is a new fighter. I'm taking a bit of a gamble here, but I just think he's got an 8-inch reach advantage, like Jesus, and his striking He's good. He's never been finished, and his opponent, Junior Albini, is coming off 3 losses, and Maurice is going on a streak in the UFC. Is 2-0. So the big boys, with a card that's stacked with all these heavy favourites. Yeah, I like that heavyweight fight, first fight of the night. And then obviously Anthony Martin, you can get him at 2.50. He's undefeated in that division. And I feel like if this fight goes to decision it will, and can stay standing, it's just going to heavily favour on Martin's side. He's gone to the decision 5 of his previous 7, and Damian Maia's gone to decision in 4 of his previous 5. So, yeah, I like his chances to escape any sort of danger on the ground and avoid that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and them submissions that can end your night within a couple of seconds. Other than that, I'm still basically halfway through handicapping this card. Obviously, we still have Punch and Parlay, which will be released on Odds Market. Yeah, it's just be cautious this week. Heavy favourites. The lines came out. There was near enough a heavy favourite in every fight. They got hammered. Now we're just looking at a bunch of like 1.40s, 1.60s, and all these juiced up numbers. So yeah, bet cautious and keep an eye out for the articles that will be released this week.
Yes, and on that note, we will bring Sports Bet Daily to a close. Dave, it was a pleasure talking to you. It was nice, this little one-on-one here, running down the card. But yeah, keep an eye on oddsmarket.com. We have a UFC page dedicated to all of this content, so please go check it out. DaveBets there, give him a follow on Twitter. Dave, a pleasure as always, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.